Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over another wildcard draft for Game Week 6. The game week's coming thick and fast. A lot of people are wildcarding before this weekend's deadline. So here is a team that I would think about making if you are clicking the wildcard button this week. So if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below. Leave a comment. Are you activating your wildcard this week? Subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off in goal, we do have Ward, and I've actually gone with Pope now as well. Now, of course, you can also have Sanchez, but as you can see, Newcastle just have much better fixtures than Brighton. Newcastle have actually been really good this season as well. Of course, they did draw 3-0 to City. They lost 2-1 in like the 98th minute last night to Liverpool. But I mean, I prefer Newcastle's defense, and they just have better fixtures coming up on the horizon. As you can see for Sanchez, if I pop Sanchez in right here, he does have some nice fixtures coming up with Leicester, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, but then they play Liverpool and Tottenham. And if you wanted to, you could just have a cheaper defender as well, like Dunk, who could just be one of those Brighton defenders, and he's obviously cheaper than Sanchez as well. But for Newcastle's defense, I just think that the fixtures coming up are just so much better. They've got Crystal Palace, West Ham, then they've got Bournemouth, Fulham, and Brentford, and that Bournemouth game is at home as well. So you can probably expect a clean sheet there for Newcastle. And I just think going into the next few fixtures, I think Newcastle are probably the team that you should kind of target with one or potentially two players in a potential wildcard draft, just simply because of their fixtures. They've been really good so far this season, and yeah, Pope is just a solid goalkeeper. But if you don't have the funds and you do want to put money elsewhere, Sanchez isn't a bad option. He is 0.3 cheaper, but I just think, like I say, Newcastle a little bit better at the back. We've also gone Ward as well. He's just another 4 mil playing keeper. You know, they do actually have okay fixtures coming up, Leicester, but they haven't started the season strongly. Whether they carry that form on or not is yet to be seen. It depends if they sign anyone in the transfer window. It is transfer deadline day to day. But either way, I wouldn't be playing Ward over Pope any day regardless. But they are the goalkeepers, so Ward and Pope could be Sanchez if you wanted to. The back line is Saliba, Trippier, James, Trent, and Cancelo. So I have gone for the double up on Newcastle defense. I just feel really strongly about Newcastle's defense for the next few fixtures. But if you didn't want to double up, then as I said, you could easily bring Duncan instead of Trippier, who obviously is cheaper than Sanchez. So I think you could either go Pope and Dunk, or you could go Trippier and Sanchez. I think I would prefer Trippier and Sanchez if I was going to bring in like a player from both teams. But I think the double up on Newcastle defense is just a little bit better because, as I say, Brighton to play Liverpool and Tottenham very soon. I know that Bournemouth fixture is very nice, but I mean, Leicester, they could easily concede against. Crystal Palace have been playing really good football. They could concede against them, and then yeah, Liverpool, then Tottenham, two tough fixtures coming up as well. Whereas, like I say, Newcastle, yeah, they could concede against Crystal Palace, West Ham, but then they do have Bournemouth, Fulham, and Brentford. And then even after that, like the fixtures don't necessarily get like terrible. But they've got United away, which again, they could easily keep a clean sheet in that game. Then they've got Everton at home, clean sheet worthy. Then Tottenham away, but then they've got Villa, Southampton. Like, I don't think it's terrible to kind of like have a few Newcastle players, and especially I think they'll just take you into the November World Cup as well, where of course we do get unlimited transfers, so you could easily get rid of them if you wanted to. But yeah, Trippier, James, you know, he should be back for Game Week 6. You know, he was just ill, he wasn't injured, he's just had a rest as well. I know he's just coming back from an illness, but athletes just recover so much better because their immune system's so much stronger, because obviously they look after themselves and stuff. So yeah, James I think is a much better option than Cucurella, as well as Fofana. Like, whether he's going to start playing straight away, that'll just push James to right wing back, and you know, he's just going to be so good. I don't think you should get rid of James at all, and if you are wildcarding, I think you should definitely bring him in. His potential is just so high, and yeah, he's just honestly one of the best assets you can have in FPL this season. Also gone Trent and Cancelo. Cancelo is just one of those players, like, obviously a lot of people got rid of him and then he hauled against Forest last night. It is honestly personal preference. Do you want to bring him in? Do you want to go for someone a little bit not necessarily safer, because Cancelo is playing like every game as well, but because his numbers have been so poor this season going forward, you could save a lot of money by going with a Walker or a Diaz. Walker I think is a little bit more of a rotation risk than Diaz. But yeah, if you did want to spend a little bit less on your City defense, you could bring in Diaz, or you could just go with Edison in goal and just have someone completely different in that in this spot here. Maybe like I don't know, another Chelsea defender if you really wanted to. I'm not a huge fan of Chelsea defense at the moment, but yeah, you could easily have like I say, Diaz here or Edison here, or if you really wanted to. Obviously, Edison is 5.5, so it's a little bit more expensive, but that is another route that you could go. And then Saliba, I mean, I don't think Arsenal defense is a must at the moment. They seem to be conceding a lot lately. They've got United next. Then it's Everton and Brentford, but then it's like Tottenham, Liverpool, Leeds and City. Like, this is where you want to be offloading your Arsenal players here. I personally think if you didn't want to have him in, I think Nico Williams is a good shout. He's cheaper, he's 4.1. Forest just have some really, really good fixtures coming up, and he's just been so good. He's had like the most shots in that Forest team, and he's a right wing back. Like, I think there's definitely whole potential here. And like I said, I've got Bournemouth next at the weekend, then Leeds, Fulham, Leicester, Villa, Wolves, Brighton. Like, that's an okay run of fixtures. I know that like Forest aren't great defensively, but I think it's only a matter of time until Nico Williams bags. And like I say, he's had like the most shots out of all our players, and yeah, I just think there's definitely a haul on the horizon. So you could easily go Williams if you didn't want to go Saliba, but if you wanted to keep that Arsenal defense, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with going Saliba, but obviously just keep in mind that they do have some poor fixtures coming up, which is obviously when you're going to be offloading them and stuff. So that's the back line, and that is obviously the goalkeepers. In midfield, I've got Martinelli. Again, I know it's another Arsenal player, and they do have some tough fixtures coming up. I just think he's one of the best assets you can own this season. He's only 6.4, and he's just returning. He scored again last night, the winner for Arsenal. Yeah, he's just a much better option than like all the other Arsenal midfielders, in my personal opinion, because he's just so cheap. I've also gone for Reed and Andreas Pereira in this team, but you can really just go for any 4.5 mil midfielder there, or 4.4 if you really need the money. Like if you need a couple more 0.1 mils or something to bring in like certain players. Pereira though, I think is definitely a must. Like, I think he's actually going to go up in price, to be fair. But yeah, they've after like the Tottenham and Chelsea game, they've got some really nice fixtures coming up. So he's just the best 4.5 mil option regardless. Also, obviously gone Salah as well. Whether he's essential or not, I don't know. It's a tough one at the moment. Like, he obviously just got 2 assists last night. His numbers weren't great in that fixture last night. I think he was quite lucky to get 2 assists, to be fair. I mean, they've got Everton and Wolves coming up. The only bad thing about Liverpool players is obviously they've got Chelsea, Brighton, Arsenal and City from like game week to 8 to 11. So that's going to be a really interesting time frame for like the league and stuff. See who's going to come out with like points and stuff in those fixtures. So whether you offload him for that or not, potentially downgrade him to somebody else who obviously has better fixtures. I don't know, it's just weird not having Salah in my team, but is he essential this year? That's the question. Also gone Gross as well. Again, nice fixtures on the horizon. They've got Liverpool and Tottenham coming up, but again, you could bench him because there's just so many players in this team. You could easily just bench Gross for like the Liverpool game or the Tottenham game. Because like I say, if you did go Nico Williams over Saliba, which again, I personally like more just because he's just so much more attacking, and they've got some nice fixtures. You know, when Brighton play like Tottenham, for example, you know, Forest have got Villa, so you could easily play him. And then when he's got Liverpool as well, you play Trippier, who's got Fulham, James, who's got Crystal Palace, Trent, who's got Brighton. Like, it's just one of those, like, when you've got a lot of bench players as well that you know are going to play, it's just a really nice position to be in. So that's the midfield. Up front is very much up to you as well. I've got Jesus in here as well. I just think he's a really good option. I know that the fixtures are bad as well. I don't think you should go triple Arsenal. So if you are going like Jesus and Martinelli, probably shouldn't go Saliba just because the fixture swing. But again, Jesus is just, for 8.2 mil, he's just producing really good numbers. He is scoring every now and again. You could downgrade him to somebody else, but I just think it will. I think it will bite you if you don't have him. And then also Haaland as well. Now, I don't think he's going to play the Villa game. I think he's going to get rested because then got Champions League midweek, and then it's Tottenham as well. So obviously he's going to want to be playing that Champions League game and the Tottenham game. So the Villa game probably going to get rested, but you can't go without him, man. He's just too important. You know, he's got like 10 returns in 5 games so far, 2 hat-tricks. You just can't. I know Kane has obviously been playing well. I think Kane's had like 5 returns in 5 fixtures, same as Salah, but you just can't go with that. He's just too important. He's just too important, and I think he's going to get another price rise as well to 12 mil. But he's just bringing everything to the table. The last option, I've gone Tony, but you could go Mitrovic. I mean, Tony is on pens, Mitrovic is on pens. The fixtures are just a lot nicer for Brentford than Fulham in like the next couple. And I mean, they just kind of don't really go bad apart from the Chelsea game until like around game week 16. So you could just hold him until then. I know he hasn't really returned anything in the last couple of games, but you know, if you wanted to go Mitrovic instead of Tony, I mean, you could do. They've got Tottenham and Chelsea before like the fixtures kind of get a little bit better, because then they've got like Forest, Newcastle, West Ham, Bournemouth. Like the fixtures obviously get really. I mean, you could have if you really wanted to, Tony for the next couple, and then again, if it's just still not working out, just downgrade to Mitrovic, because obviously he's cheaper, so you could just easily do that. That's probably what I would do personally, because you use that transfer in a couple of game weeks. You know, when Tony has Arsenal, that's when you downgrade to Mitrovic, who obviously has Forest. So that could be a nice little kind of switch there. But that's kind of a potential wildcard draft I have come up with. I'm quite a big fan of it. Again, I've gone over quite a few different players you could have in different positions and stuff. Like I say, if you did want to downgrade Cancelo, just have Edison in goal. You could have Saliba, Nico Williams. It's just kind of options like that. You could have a Dunk in defense instead of Trippier. But either way, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like down below. Leave a comment. Are you thinking of wildcarding this week? Subscribe if you're brand new. It's everything from me. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And until next time, peace.